Alright mates, here's a bit of a video on the car. So I'll start at the front here and we'll just work our way around. I'll start with the outside and I'll just pause and chop this together to show you bits and pieces. So these are the wide body front guards. As you can see, they're not a perfect carbon, you know, like the bonnet. They were a prototype which I was going to mould into the original guard and then make a carbon guard of the entire thing. But standing back, they look fine. They're just not absolutely perfect. Couple sort of, you know, ripples as you can see there, but absolutely functional and do the job that they need to do. You can see the original guard. I'm not sure if you can see it or not under there, but that's still there. It's cut here and it leaves a nice hole here to let the high pressure air escape from the wheel well, stop that building up. Obviously we've got the 18 by 10.5 Koenig rims, which are basically brand new, good condition. As you see in the document too, the brake rotor's almost brand new, pads essentially brand new. That's all of that. Right, the front bonnet here did have another one of these bonnet pins in it at some stage, so there's a bit of wrap just covering that. Be as transparent as possible with everything. This front bumper is a custom bumper. It's not absolutely perfect. As you can see, like there's a slight misalignment there, pretty minor. It's not completely, you know, smooth. Just trying to get a view of that there just to show you. But it's made for aerodynamics. It was made to shut so the bonnet closes as close as possible and everything. It overlaps the guards here, so the airflow is going over everything. You know, same here with the guards, the airflow is flowing over everything else and it's not getting caught or trapped. So that's the front there. Holes, that there is the engine oil cooler through there, and the transmission cooler's just there. I'll pull this bumper off, have a proper look soon. Now the intercooler here is ducted, so the bumper has these, it's kind of hard to see, these extensions here on it, which slots over this ducting here. So this opening is for the intercooler, completely ducted, which is for aerodynamic efficiency for one, and also for cooling. Again, when I pull this bumper off, show you the intercooler is ducted to the radiator as well. Moving around this wide body guard here, again, they were a prototype, they're not perfect. You see there's a bit of waving in it there. It's not perfect carbon by any means. There is a join in the carbon here, but again, you stand back, look at it, and she's rolling on the track. It's pretty cool. Same thing, exactly the same as the other side. High pressure air, nice big hole there to let the air out. Aluminium side skirts. Nothing special about them. The rear guards are cut under here, up high, because these are a 17 by 9 wheel. Obviously to allow travel. These are just a universal, these aren't carbon, these are just a plastic flare, and they've just been cut off there. Just do the job basically to cover the wheel, which it does well. Right, so we've got the carbon hatch. Moving around, these wheels as well are almost brand new, the rear wheels, so almost everything's brand new on it. The rear wing, this is an E423 profile. I did a course on aerodynamics through a chap that used to be ex-Formula 1, and we had a good chat and all that, and this was the profile I had custom made to suit this car, width, chord length, everything. and of course it's let's let that plane go over. And it's chassis mounted. Let's get out of the sun. These are aluminium mounts, which are custom made. They have an adjustment here, just with a turnbuckle, for the angle of attack of the wing. It's pretty much set on the lowest it can be at the moment. Something you can play with. Same with the end plates. They're just a square. They could be cut, shaped however you like, but fine at the moment. So the mounts are just bolted into the chassis rails under there. That's all they are. That's all they need to be to transfer the downforce direct to the chassis, and she's pretty solid. So that's more or less the exterior. With these on, just to note, you can't open the hatch with this on. You can get into the hatch. It's probably the easiest way is just going through the inside and unscrewing, I think it's a couple of 10 mils here, and just pop that whole hatch off. It's pretty easy to do. But that there is more or less the exterior. Touch on the brakes here as well. The 282mm, as you would have seen in the document, Prelude, Integra rears, brand new discs, new pads. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, show you a couple of angles of it. As you can tell, as you've seen in the pictures, I mean, it's a pretty aggressive looking car. Pretty much from every angle it is, just due to the wide body, the wing, just everything about it. Right, I'll pause that there, and we will move on to the interior, I think. Alright, so the doors are a quick release. They're a DIY quick release hinge, but incredibly effective. I'll try and do this while holding this, but they literally just and pull off like that, which makes super easy to get them out of the way if you want to do work on it or in and out, whatever you want. It's just a cool addition to have. Both doors have got them, and they go on just as quick. It's just I can't do it with one hand at the moment. Let's move this out of the way a bit. So right, interior wise, as I mentioned, I think in the document, I'm not that keen to let this seat go with it. I've got another Race Tech seat without the head bolsters that can go with it, just because this has got some sentimental value to me. Yeah. Right, so we've got just a racing wheel, suede racing wheel. It's got quick release there, which I can't do with one hand. Spin that around a bit. So these buttons here control the dash, everything on the dash there. It's a Link race dash, has everything you need on it. We'll start it up and show you that in a bit. Right, show you these here have been twisted a few times. There's a bit of tape on these. Again, it all works. It's just the dash link to the buttons. There is nothing wrong other than them just being taped up like they are. Just want to again be transparent with absolutely everything possible. Pedal box, Willwood pedal box. As you can see, this is what it is. Obviously got the brake adjuster here. I do have a cable which hooks onto the end, which you can mount the turning knob, so you can adjust this on the fly, which will come with it, again with all the spares. It's also got the rear adjuster here as well, for real fine tune adjusting. I haven't played with it a whole lot. And then that leads through to a hydraulic handbrake, inline hydraulic handbrake. As you can see, the interior is just sort of primer. Needs, well, it doesn't need it, but it could do with a good tidy up. You know, these are pretty old, these things here, things like that, just bits and pieces to replace. Obviously we've got the Quaife sequential shifter. It's a Quaife base here. Custom cable, strain gauge knob on it. That's the gear selector, or the gear display. Get my words right. This is essentially everything on the dash. As you can see, a couple lights there. This is high and low boost. Low, high, go baby go. Rain light, which comes with it, and the wiring's all there but isn't actually on the car at the moment. Wipers, fan, that's for the radiator fan. The radiator fan is on a thermostat. That's just to override it if you so wish. And obviously got the ignition, gearbox cooler, and we've got the power steering. So this is the power steering here module. It's a Holden Astra setup. Obviously with the big front wheels and all of that, it makes the steering a bit harder. Really good to get around the pits having that on. Extremely effective. It's all professionally wired in. I had it all done. Under there, that's the link. All the wiring. Yeah, I guess that is what it is. Bit of a nosy at that. I've got the battery mounted here, Vertex dry cell racing battery. What else? The remote reservoirs for the pedal box. Fire extinguisher. And just have a look in the back of the car there. Not much to see, other than all of the panelling's been cut out on both sides. Now, something to note as well, that's where the guards are cut. They could probably use a sealant. They have been sprayed to stop rust, of course, but that's what that light is through there. That's underneath the flared guards. They could probably use a bit of sealant, you know, urethane rather, on them. So that's the rear inside. As you can see, not much to see. That there is the rollover valve. Actually, here's the fuel, or the fuel cells under here. This used to be the flap which would shut. At present, as I mentioned, all this has got here is two of these hose clamps and a hose with a cap to shut off the fuel. Hence why it would have been easy just to run a bit of pipe up to the window. Do as you will with that. Had this fuel level sender added as well. It's not wired in. That just got done recently when I had the tank all out and baffled. Rollover valve, that there just vents up through there and into the wheel well with a wee filter on the end. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the interior. Harnesses are brand new. Well, very close to brand new. Yeah. Doors are all fiberglass. They've just got a carbon panelling. Well, it's not carbon, sorry, it's signboard with a carbon wrap on it. It keeps it nice and light. And just a pull tab to open the door. Mirrors, these aren't real carbon mirrors. They're just a fake carbon mirror, but do the job. And GPS, magnetic GPS for the dash. It does all your lap timing. The dash does absolutely everything, as you can imagine. Shows you every single bit of data about the entire car. Right, we'll crawl under the back of the car and just have a nosy. So it's got the centre exhaust. It's 3-inch stainless the entire way through. V-band clamps. That's the fuel cell there. Complete aluminium, as you'll see in the pictures, all baffled. Here is the filter, brand new Carter lift pump there, and a new AEM pump just there that you can see. Obviously you've got all the arms and everything there pretty well set up as far as being level there. It's all corner weighted. Again, it's all in that document. I'm just telling you things that I'm sure you already know, but easy enough to touch on. XYZ race suspension. Camber arms up there as well, the rear camber arms. It's not too much more, just give you a general sort of look under the bottom there. Aluminium rear floor, all the steel's been cut out and that's been put in. Obviously the bumper's cut as well, cut down to stop the air catching in it. Have a look under the side. I can't really see here, so I'm not sure what you can see or not, but there's a couple of mounts there. Everything's done up to Motorsport New Zealand spec as far as like the seat mounts and that done. I had there's something else in the interior of this bar, this crossbar here, which the GoPro's mounted on at the moment. Added in recently because this particular seat, you can see there, has the mounts for safety that mounts onto that bar. I wanted that put in there anyway. While I had that in, I had all the seat mounts and all that redone. They were originally like these here, which isn't quite right, and this gets the seat mounted a lot lower down. Yeah, so I think I'll unbolt the splitter and we'll pop the bumper off and show you all that. So I'll pop that front splitter off now. So the front bumper bolts down to the splitter. It can be run without the splitter, no issue. There's no structural thing here, it's just to help with the aero. It's got these set screws that fix the bumper to the splitter, two front struts here, and then I'll show you where else the splitter bolts on. So front bumper is unbolted from the splitter there. So just open the bonnet. Open that up there. The bumper itself is only connected in two spots, so it's got the wee push pin there, push in, up, again push in the clip, and that's kind of difficult to do with one hand. Hold on, I'm not sure I can do this with one hand. Unclip, yep, and that's bumper off. Super easy, made it that way so it comes on off, no dramas at all, and super light too. Again, full transparency on everything. Some of that wrap's pulling up there, just needs a bit of the 3M wrap glue to stick. So this is the moulded bit here I was talking about, which fits onto the ducting, just slides over the ducting there, create a nice seal. It's just the basic ducting there, it's just fiberglass. Ducted to the radiator, as you can see there, all the way around, sealed so the air is forced through the intercooler through the radiator. Something I would do with this car is get rid of the dual fan setup with the shroud. Doesn't overheat or anything like that, but this would be very restrictive, or at least drill holes in the shroud. I was just going to run one single fan in the middle. So that's that. I guess while we're here, we'll have a look at the engine bay and the tube frame at the front. So as you can see, tube frame through the front, right round, pretty straightforward. Bolts on here and here, and then it just bolts on down here as well, straight through there. So 4 bolts, and that whole front basically pulls off. It was made that way to easy access in and out. And the splitter, we can show you that. the splitter bolts onto that tube front as well. So the splitter downforce is directed again straight to the chassis entirely. Yeah, a bit of a view of that. The splitter is a prototype. These are diffuser tunnels, again advised by the aerodynamicist. There's a whole bunch of, well, it's not really technical, but a bit of tech as to why they're shaped like they are. It's like, I don't know, you might know a bit about it, like a Venturi, increasing capacity. The underside of these, I'll show you when I pull this off, has a bit of bog in that on them. The idea was I'm going to sand it all back, and I was going to make this out of carbon and use this as a mould and fill it all in. Again, works as it is, but it is what it is. Just again want to sort of show everything. Right, engine bay. Again, probably it is what it is. All the specs sort of show everything else. Heat wrapped entire headers. Heat shrouding around the hot side of the turbo, and this heat shrouding encapsulating all the headers and everything to keep the heat at bay. After I put this on, it made a huge difference to just the general engine bay temperatures of everything else around it, and this vent here lines up nicely over the top of this, so the heat exits the engine bay pretty well. Oil filter, remote mounted oil filter here. That's a catch can, I'm sure you've seen. Obviously the lines which go down to the engine oil cooler. It's got the K-tuned bracket there, which is power steering, etc. delete, and it just runs a custom belt, which well, you can find these at Repco, no worries at all. What else? Obviously you saw on the engine build patch, all the block, head, everything was media blasted, so it's all top condition, all checked over, etc. on the rebuild. Right, what else we got? I'll just sort of go over everything with the camera so you can get sort of a close look. Intercooler piping, with all the quick release clamps on it. Transmission, cooler, lines, filter for the gearbox cooler, that's the tilt and pump for the gearbox, fuel pressure regulator, this here, yeah, Racecar, right. Pump bottle was overflow, obviously it could be replaced with something a bit nicer. And just while we're there as well, these bits here haven't been finished. I was just going to cut those off there, probably better to see on that side. These unpainted bits, I was just going to slice those off where that paint ends, because there's no real use for those there at all. Didn't get round to it, so they're just hanging out there, not causing any drama other than not looking the prettiest. Yeah, turbo, this is brand new filter on it as well. It's done one test day. I might have done 2 test days, sorry, but essentially brand new. But yeah, that gives you a bit of an overview of the engine bay there. Bonnet's not an amazing, like, it is absolutely functional, but it's not an amazing condition. The top is absolutely fine. Just showing you again, it has been cut, and there's a brace here cracked slightly through that point there. Again, has never ever been an issue. When it's shut, no problem at all, sits up fine. Again, just want to make sure you know every single thing about the car. Have a look back. So it is set up as such that you can, with the tube front, that you could run exit ducting out of here straight up and over the plenum, and the same out there. Entirely up to you whether you do that. Other than that, yeah, I think that's probably the majority of that. It's probably more so to just touch on little bits and pieces and make sure that you know exactly what you're getting, should you buy it, I guess. Look under there. Let's see, that's the Sequential. Sequential. So I probably don't need to pull that splitter off. It is what it is. I can see the bolts on there. 2 bolts on each end. Otherwise, it's just a bit of plywood with the diffuser tunnels, which was going to be a prototype to build a carbon one, like I said. Bit of an inside view of the bumper, just for, again, just making sure we cover everything. So, like I said, the bumper mounts on each side, just on those little push pins. Super easy. Any other weight is taken by these reinforced points here, just on the front there and there, which the bumper slides over on the front here. So any downwards force or any pressure is fully taken by that. So there's no chance of it being flimsy whatsoever. It is strong. Again, I think you know all about the oil and everything. You said you use Motul. It's the Motul 300V that I use, and that's the Motul gear oil that I use. Comes with these. There's a couple of parts in there. There's all the drive shafts in there. That's the front bumper mould. Just here. Should you ever smash up the current bumper for some reason, it is there. That's just a lip. That's a standard EK bumper. I also actually have the mould for that too. You can have that if you want. It doesn't really worry me. Just another, I won't show you all the spares, but just another box with spares in it. Just all manner of just random stuff which will accumulate over the year. A brand new fuel pressure regulator. Just bits and pieces. Two brand new Kumos that come with it. E700, 280, 650, R18 for the fronts. They haven't been used whatsoever. So like we talked about, that would be pretty cool to try them and some new rears on it. I think that's pretty much everything. I guess I'll just go around the car, just walk around it once more, just so you get an overview again. At this point I'm probably just rambling, but again I just want to make sure that you know exactly what this car is and what it's about. Polycarb windows all the way around. Oh, of course we should probably start the car. Shouldn't forget about that, so let's do that. Alright, so we'll start the car up. Hold on. Alright, let's jump in it. We'll start the car up. So I don't know if you've had a car that runs on E85 or ethanol. It's a bit of a pig to start sometimes, more so on the cold mornings if you're at the track. When this starts, it doesn't idle that well until it's warm. Often you've got to stay on the accelerator for a bit and just keep the revs up a small amount. Often I'll just put something on the accelerator just to hold the revs up. You know, I'm just talking like 1100-1200 until it's warm, and then idle's fine. So it's cold now, hasn't been started in, I don't know, since it's about a month now. Ignition. Obviously got the gear display there and the dash. Obviously checking it's in neutral. Other than that, it's just push start on the accelerator. See, oil pressure straight up. Good. Smell of E85, which is always lovely. Love that smell, reminds me of racing. So again, I'll just skip through the screen here. Not sure you can see that or not. Just keeping the revs up. As you see if I let off the accelerator now, show the revs. It just doesn't doesn't quite idle when it's cold, so again we'll start it back up, and what I'll do is I'll get that up to temperature, and then we'll do another walk around. So again, right, I'll get that up to temperature. Those lights that are flashing there, that's just a warning when the oil pressure or bits drop. Just when you're starting it, they flash every time. Obviously the oil pressure is up nicely instantly. So I'll warm this up now, and then I'll go over it with you. Alright, so that's just still warming up at the moment. I've just got something sitting on the accelerator there. As you see, the white smoke, that's just E85 for you. You can hear it. I'll let it warm up a bit and then give it some revs. Go to the engine. So that's up to temp and idling on its own now. Like I said, that's probably been 5 minutes. As you can see, oil pressure just dropped back at idle, oil temp's rising, fuel pressure's good. Just cycling through the dash, there's obviously the revs there, you got your lap counter there. IETs, boost, obviously currently in vacuum, water temps, and back to the original screen. Baby revs. Obviously fuel pumps in this, so as you can hear, are incredibly loud. Which is normal, which I'm sure you know with your other race car or previous race cars. And these are brand new, so we know they're good. But yeah, that's it started. I mean, I can't really show you the power steering or anything like that. I suppose I can flick it on while we're here. I'll flick power steering. You'll hear it kind of, power steering almost spools up like a jet engine. I'm not sure if you're able to hear it. Not sure if you can hear that or not, but it's it kind of sounds cool. Anyway, that's super. You know, you cannot move this wheel and tyre combo sitting still like this when it's without the power steering on, and that's, you know, that's easy, which is pretty cool. Flick that off. Other than that, we've got the fan, which again, the fan is on a thermostat when it hits 90 degrees. We can manually control that, which is handy for around the pits. Wipers do work, but they're not, I don't actually have wipers on them at the moment. Does come with the wiper blades, like I said, the rain, the lights there, it's all wired up, but not installed. But yeah, what are we at? We're at 35 minutes almost. I've tried to give you as in-depth as I can on absolutely everything about the car, because obviously if you do buy it, you're coming a long way. If you need anything else, I'm happy to get you pictures, upload, talk to you, whatever. but hopefully that's given you a pretty good overview, and hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. Alright, there it is.